Lizzie, thank you very much. And thank you very much, everybody who joined us. And welcome to, maybe this is a new experience for you to be part of the Shadow Match coaching community. But just on an introduction level, what I have found over the time that the coaching platform has been used by hundreds of coaches is that a lot of people are trained as coaches and then they don't know how do I now become a coach. So this is the reason for these 6 webinars. It will be every Wednesday at 5. Why 5 o'clock? Because most of the potential or future coaches or even current coaches who would like to join the webinar say that they work until 4 o'clock or 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then they can't join, and they then are being excluded. As Lizette rightly said, we will record. Everything will be recorded tomorrow. You will receive a link to the recording as well as the slides that I'm going to use. So we want to make it available to you. And if you know about anybody else that would like to think of the possibility of becoming a coach, you're more than welcome to share the slides with them, but also the video. They can watch the video between now and next week. And then when they want to catch up, they can then catch up with us next week. The benefit of the live discussion like this one is that you will be given an opportunity to ask questions. And just from my side, obviously you can ask any question related to coaching, but let's try to keep the questions related to the topic of today so that we stick to the discussion content. Then before we start with the recording, because we don't want these administrative things to be part of the recording, what you will also see is that we will give you the information that we will share with you today. And from that information, you can work through this process with us for 6 weeks. And it'll give you a very good idea of what does it mean to be a coach, and how do you become, what is the most responsible way of becoming a coach, and what are the responsibilities for that. We will now start the recording, and then I will share my screen. Let me share my screen. First of all, let's go there and share the screen. Lizette will indicate if it's working, all good and going, and then we will start. Thank you, Lizette. So where do we start? The question and the theme for today is who becomes a coach? Now let's just make an introduction comment. Coaching is not for everybody. It's the most important thing that we must share with you. It's not for everybody. We have sometimes in the world of coaching, some of the most professional people doing something like, for instance, playing tennis, or they play golf, or they are pilots, but they're not teachers, they're not coaches, they cannot do the coaching thing. Coaching is not for everybody. So let's just get that clear. The question is, if we have a look at some of the challenges, then my approach is, let's do the honest things first. Let's get the honest basics out of the way. If you have a day job, don't quit to become a coach. It's not going to work. Become a coach first. See whether it works for you. Test the waters. Sign up a client or 2 or 3. Get into the mechanics of coaching. And then if you see and if you feel and you get the feedback, this will work for me, then quit your day job. We have too many people who they resigned, they stopped what they were doing full time, they went for training, they wanted to become a coach, and they couldn't get the business of being a coach off the ground, and then they are out of their jobs and out of their income and out of their stability. Don't do that. Become a coach first. The second point that I want to mention and stress is being a full-time coach is not easy. It is not for everybody. And the honesty side of this is it's not a free ride to make millions. It's a career, it's a job, it gives you a lot of freedom. We'll get to the benefits, but it's not a free ride. It's hard work. It's not easy. You've got to work every day. Then building a coaching business is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and this is the challenge that I have in terms of all the coaching programs that I see advertised as become a coach, do this training, become a coach, do this training. Guys and girls, you don't become a coach by being trained. It's exactly the same as you become a medical doctor. That doesn't mean that your qualification gives you a practice and it gives you a building and it gives you the infrastructure and a nurse and a receptionist and everything. When you are done with your training as a medical doctor, you walk into this practice and there's a queue of people that would like to see you as their doctor. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work this way. It works in no other career. It works this way. You've got to build a coaching practice by means of a process. It can take anything between 1 and 5 years to build a sustainable and a good income coaching practice. Some people build it quickly. Some take a bit longer. Some of our coaches even take about 5 years. Some of the coaches that are qualified as coaches never get it right. They just, at the end of time, they give up. So the challenges, the fourth point that I want to make as an introduction is that the challenges that you have to face is training could be, and it is, very expensive. To become a trained coach can cost you 100,000 Rand. There are some coach training that will cost you 1,000 Rand, and some 30,000 in the United States. If you are in America, it could cost you anything from $250 up to I've seen programs that'll cost you about $10,000. So it's a lot of money and it's expensive. We'll get to the training later on in the discussions that we will have. The second thing is you start from scratch. It takes time to build a sustainable income. You must brace yourself that when you are trained as a coach, it doesn't mean that somebody gives you a practice with 20 customers or as many as you would like to have. That's not going to happen. Then you must coach, search for clients, do your administrative work, and grow your business. So these are the challenges. It's keeping all these things, juggling all these realities and make a success of it. Obviously, it's a great adventure and it's fantastic if you get it right because the rewards are absolutely fantastic. The next question is it a viable business? Why should I become a coach? Is it a viable income? Yes, it is. It's very viable. It is extremely viable. I can give you a few numbers. Some of our coaches run between 500 and 600 coaching sessions per year. In other words, from January to December, they have 600, and that's a lot. 500 is very makeable. I'll break it down for you. Let's say you have 500 coaching sessions a year. That gives you 50 weeks, 2 weeks holiday or vacation, 50 weeks of coaching. So you do 10 sessions a week. That is 2 sessions a day. 500 sessions for an income of between 750 and 2,000 Rand a session can give you up to R1 million. If you have 500 sessions for 2,000 Rand in the USA, 500 sessions for around about 100 to 150 or $200 a session, run the numbers and you will see that, yes, it's a very viable career and a very viable business if you get it from the ground and if you get it up and going. You can make a very good living, manage your own time and your workload. Remember, dear delegates and participants in this session, if you do 2 sessions a day, you coach for 3 hours. Let's say you have 15 minutes preparation for the first session, and then you complete the session, and it's an hour. Then you take a little bit of a break. You've got 15 minutes prep if you use the shadow match system, for instance, for the next session. So it's 2 hours, 40 minutes, 3 hours a day of coaching. If you do it every day, you do 500 sessions a year. And your workload, obviously, then the rest of the day and the other time that you have available is free time. No, it's not free time. Then it's time to market your services, find new clients, do your admin a bit, do your planning on expanding your business. It gives you independence and freedom. This is a great benefit, especially for people who would like to have more freedom. We have, for instance, mothers with children at school. They coach during the morning. It's a fantastic opportunity for them to coach during the morning, look after their kids in the afternoon, and then do their marketing when the kids went to bed, or in the mornings when they don't have coaching sessions. For people who are on early retirement, it's a great opportunity for them to have an additional income, but also to find meaning in the years post-retirement, because they've got a lot of experience. For the rest of our coaches, if it's a business, it's a good, solid business, and you can make a good living of it. So then the greatest of all is the fulfillment people experience being a coach. If the person is a coach as a result of who they are, the experience that they have for being a coach is such that it's a huge fulfillment experience for them to be a coach and to do the work that a coach does, because you have the opportunity to change the lives of people. So let's have a look. If we now go and say, the critical question that we would like to share with you as this introduction webinar is, who must become a coach? And we'll go into the detail of this. There are 3 groups. We can identify 3 groups of individuals who are inclined to become a coach. The first group is people that I tag as I attract. These are individuals who attract people to them in search of advice for a challenge that they face. In other words, people phone them, people would call them, people will come to their office and say, you know what, can we talk a bit? I need advice on something. These individuals attract others with challenges and people in need of advice. So these are individuals that they are trusted by people to give them good advice on the life questions that they have. The second group is I'm able. These are individuals with extensive life experience and the skill to deal with the challenges that others face. They might be very highly trained. Some medical doctors are coaches as well. They give very good advice to their patients. Some are psychologists, social workers, ministers of religion, but they are in a position of experience and learning and life wisdom that gives them a very strong position of being able to help people in need of growing and building a more fulfilled life. The third group is people that are attracted by others in need of support and in need of advice. So these individuals, the ones that we could say I'm attracted, these are people with an urge to make a difference in the lives of others. They find it easy to listen to people, hear what the issues are, and walk away and say, I know what this person must do. And they will then go back and say, you know what, you mentioned this the other day. Can we discuss this? So they are attracted to people in need of some advice or in need of guidance. So these are the different groups of people who are very, very, very good coaches. But now we will go in a bit of detail. We will send this score sheet to you. Now, dear delegates, and everybody in this virtual room, what we have here is 12 questions. I will work through them step by step, and you can watch them on the recording later. And if you watch this recording now, you can stop and think about it whenever you would like to. And we will also make this available if you would like to have it. These are the questions that you need to answer. People tend to call me when they need advice. It happens often. So if you think about your life and you say, it happens quite often, once every now and then, that somebody would call me and say, you know what, Peter, I want to discuss something with you. I would like to have your advice on this. Then you can answer this question and say, yes, this happens. Number two, I often know what people must do to solve their problems. I just spoke about it. So if you can honestly say to yourself, I listen to people sometimes, informal, family, friends, at a braai, at the sports ground, at school, wherever I am, at church, or just in my social life, I listen to what they say, and I think, I know what they must do. I know what the right thing is. Not necessarily the fact you might not necessarily do it and say, you know what, let me give you advice. But you just sense that I know what the challenge is, and I know what the problem is, and I know what they must do. I know what the right thing is to do. It doesn't mean that you give them advice, just hold there. But it often happens that you know what people must do to solve their problems. I'm soft on people, but tough on problems and facts. This is an important question, and it'll repeat. In other words, this theme will come back. This says, I'm very soft on people, but facts remain to be facts. Let me give you an example. Somebody says to me, my child moved to wherever, and I can't deal with it. Then I can say, I hear what you say. It's very difficult. I understand your challenges. That's not what a coach does. We'll get to that in session number 4 or 5. That's a more clinical approach. But a coach says, it's a fact. It is what it is. Let's plan on how to move forward with your life. Don't live in the problem. Let's move on. So it's not being harsh on the person, but being solid and honest about the facts. So I'm soft with a person, but I'm willing to say to them, well, it is what it is. Let's move on. The next question is closely related to number 3. It's easy for me to be honest with people, even if honesty is tough on me and on them. Sometimes, dear coaches, being honest is tough on me as the coach, as the person who must help and coach the individual. Sometimes I don't have the guts in myself to help somebody with an honest answer. A good coach can be honest with an individual, even if it's tough for the individual and for themselves. Even if somebody is a good friend, or even if it's my wife or my children or my parents, I can stand and say, this might not sound good, but let's face the facts. So working with a factual reality of life, despite the fact that it might be tough, makes a good coach. I do not blame the next one I do not become stressed when I am with somebody in a tough situation. I tend to be the one who stays calm. This is, if you can say yes, this is what I can do. If there's a rough situation and somebody is in serious distress, you have the makeup to remain calm and collected, cool-headed, and just relax the situation. Bring a calmness with your presence, your voice, what you say, your tone of voice, and bring the tension and the temperature of the situation down. That's what a coach does. Think about a rugby coach or a soccer or a whatever coach. If the team comes off the field and it's halftime and they are in big trouble going into the second half of the game, the coach is the person who needs to bring their energy together again and to calm them down and say, guys, hold it. Let's make a plan. Let's not go on to a fear or an emotional outburst. Calm down. Let's relax. So if you're the person that could calm people down and say, just relax, let's talk about this, let's hold on to a cool and level-headed approach, good coach. Then the next one is, when talking to people, I can hear their challenges without them saying it. We said it almost in the previous question. There, it's also the same sort of a team, but not a good coach. Ask yourself the question, do I have the ability to listen to people and hear what they don't say? I want to give you an example. You have a discussion and you have a session with people and they talk, and it ends up at this event that you start talking with somebody. And this discussion becomes quite a long and intense discussion. And you walk away and this person didn't say it, but you walk away and you say to yourself, what did this individual say to me? He said he hates his job. That's what he said. So if you have the ability to hear what somebody says, despite the fact that they don't say it, explicitly say it, you can become a very, very, very good coach. The next one, people tend to listen to me when I talk to them. Now, dear guys and girls, and potential coaches, and future coaches, and enthusiastic wannabe coaches, this is probably one of the primary capabilities of a. Have you ever seen parents? They talk to their children, but the children, they don't listen. The children just carry on. They break the place. They go mad. And then some parents, the children go on and on and on, and then suddenly the parents say, Michael, Louise, and Angela, hold it. And they stop. That's it. The parent's not aggressive, but the parent has got an authority that makes the children listen to them. And sometimes you need that authoritative position and say, okay, let me tell you what we do. And then you must be able to voice yourself in a way that people say, I hear what you say, I think I'm going to do it. So it's a position of authority that you can take. It is easy for me to connect with people, even strangers. Now, this is obvious. If you want to be a good coach, it must be easy for you to start a discussion with people, to connect with people, to engage with people, to have a friendly and a light, but also a serious discussion, even if these individuals are strangers. I have the hobby, which obviously didn't work out well every time. I would walk to somebody. If I'm at the gym or in a restaurant or on public transport, or I am wherever, I would walk to somebody and say, I want to know who you are. And then I introduce myself. I say, I'm Peter de Villiers. What do you do? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. So it's easy for me. So I'm not saying it must be easy for you, but if you are introduced to somebody, you must experience a relaxed way of engaging that person in a friendly and in a relaxed and a supportive manner, even if you don't know them. Because remember, if you sign up clients, they will be strangers to you. The next one, I do not shy away from tough discussions. Despite having tough discussions, I make sure the relationship stays positive. This is something that some of us must work on. It's not easy to have a tough discussion, but to keep the relationship intact. This is what a good coach can do. A good coach can keep the relationship with a client very positive, despite the fact that they might have from time to time very tough discussions where the coach says, you can't get out of this. We've got to do this. We have to do this. See it as a sports coach. Sometimes you just have to say, you're going to run now. You've got to get yourself fit. Or you're going to now stand on the driving range and hit 150 golf balls. Or you're going to do this or this or that. But I don't feel like it. No, I didn't ask whether you feel like it. This is what we're going to do. So those firm and tough discussions are part of the life and the work of a coach. Remember, you want to become a coach, not a therapist, not a counselor, not a mentor. We will discuss that later on. What is a counselor? What is a therapist? What is a mentor? These are different things. A coach is somebody that says, I'm here to walk with you in building an optimal life, an optimal career, a life of fulfillment, your best relationships, etc., etc. So I'm here to help you build a meaningful life that's filled with happiness and fulfillment. So then the second last one, it's easy for me to stay in a relationship even if there are difficulties between us. Now, this is the brother, it's the brother question of comment of the above. This is when there are some friction points between us, but I have the capability not to walk away from the relationship despite the friction points, and I keep the relationship working, positive and functional, despite the facts that we both know there are some points where we are not on the same page. Because it will happen, guys and girls, that you coach somebody, let's say on the Shadow Match coaching program for study methods, and the student says to you, I think this is a rubbish method. And I don't like this method that you suggest. I like this method, despite the fact that it's not working because the results are not there. Then you must be able to keep the relationship with the student intact, despite the fact that you have different perspective on what the best study method is. So that's one of the abilities that we as coaches must have, or we must learn them. I'm very capable in managing a process. I get people to do what needs to be done. Now, guys and girls, this is quite important. A coach is a project manager. The project is my client and the life of my client. Be it my client's relationship with somebody, my client's career, my client's study methods, my client's habit of problem solving, my client's habit of being a good leader, my client's fulfillment in life. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a project. And that project must be managed. And managing that project of building a good life is a process. So if you are a good process manager, in other words, you can plot the actions and you can see to it that people comply to what they promise to do. You are a good coach. So now, these are the questions. Please don't try to write them down. We'll email it to you. And it'll be in the video well, it's in the video and you can watch it again and again. Now, these are the results. My research has indicated that if you can only answer yes on 1, 2, or 3 of these questions, don't become a coach. It will be very tough for you, because these are the demands that will be on your desk almost every time you coach. Some to a lesser extent, some more intense, sometimes very intense. But these 12 points will come onto your coaching desk very often. So if you can only answer yes on 1, 2, or 3 of these questions, then my advice to you is hold, wait. Coaching might not be for you. If you are uncertain, get yourself the Shadow Match career report and first work through the report and then decide. But coaching might not be the thing for you. If you get yes on 4, 5, or 6 of the questions, give it a go. Give it a go. But I suggest get somebody to act as a coach for coaches. We have lots of them. A coach for coaches to support you during the first, let's say, 6 months to a year. Because on 4, 5, and 6, you have enough to become a coach. But there might be a few points that you need to just brush up, get them a bit more sharp and to the mark. If you can honestly answer 7, 8, or 9 of these questions with a yes, you'll be an excellent coach. Do it. Do it. Coaching is a good possibility for you. You will love doing it. If you can answer 10, 11 of 12 of these questions with a yes answer, yes, this is me, this is me, this is me, yes, then my conviction is you owe it to other people to become a coach. You should become a coach because you have an extreme capability of helping people to build a very good life. So if you can answer these questions 10, 11, 12 with yes, 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 this, I can do this, and this is me, then I think it's the responsible way of looking into your own future is I owe it to my fellow humans to be a coach. And I'm not saying you've got to be a full-time coach, but you've got to be a coach in a way. You've got to do some coaching work because you have all the ingredients of becoming a good and a solid and a valuable coach to others. So now we're going to talk about action plan. What are we going to do as a group? What between now and next week? What should we do? What I would like you to do is talk to a few friends and take the list of questions with you. Maybe talk to a parent or talk to a husband or a wife, a spouse, a life partner. Talk to a colleague and say, you know, I'm thinking about becoming a coach. And I have these questions. How many of these questions do you think can I honestly answer with, yes, this is me? And a good soundboard, somebody who knows you well, can give you very good guidance on, because sometimes we don't see ourselves as others might see us. Sometimes I think I can't do it, and other people think I'm excellent. I'm fantastic with it. And I've seen coaches that they do not see how good they are because they either humble or they don't want to blow their own sound bar, but they do not see their own capabilities. And a good trusted friend can be very valuable to just help you reflect how many of these questions are true to who and what I am, who and how I am. The second point that I would like you to do from now till next week is answer the above questions. A trusted friend can add value to your thinking process, but answer them very honest. Because guys and girls, don't become a coach if it's not for you, because it's going to frustrate you, and you're going to experience a lot of frustrations out of this, and it might not even pay off at the end of the day. Decide why you want to become a coach. ask yourself a question. Why do I want to become a coach? The rest is easy. The rest is nothing. If you can answer the question, why would I like to become a coach? Then the rest is a no-brainer. So if you are in a position to think about these questions, or if you have questions, just send us an email, contact our office. You can contact us from all our websites, shadowmatch.com, shadowmatchcoaches.com, shadowmatchcoaching.com, info@shadowmatch.com. These are all our info@shadowmatch.co.za, and make contact with us. Next week, just before we go, our next session is, what is the optimal process to minimize the risk that this new venture might hold for you? That's next week, 12 February, same time, same place, 5 p.m. Standard South African Standard Time. So the question that we will answer and we will handle next time is, what is the optimal process? Now, let me just give you an indication of what I want to do for you next week. And the service that we offer next week is, the process that is normal is get yourself trained and certified as a coach, and then you are a coach. Now, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just turn the thing around and say, let me first decide what kind of a coach, life coach, I would like to be. Do I want to specialize in something specific? Am I a person that will make a success out of this challenge of being a coach, or this opportunity of being a coach? Because some people see it as a challenge, some see it as an opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity. So, but next week, what we will do is, what is the process? Now, dear future coaches, there are many coaching programs and coaching philosophies. Don't just jump on the bandwagon of the first one that advertises their training to you. Please, for heaven's sake, don't do it. Because not all the programs are equally comfortable to everybody. Let me give you an example. I'm a trained narrative coach, but I can't do it. I cannot, for the best in my life, I cannot do it, because it doesn't sit with my life philosophy and the way I do things. I'm also a very well-trained neuro-linguistic programming coach. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I did the training because somebody else paid for it. Well, I was a minister of religion and the church paid for it. But I went out of this and I tried it on a few people and I said, this doesn't work for me. But for other people, it does. So next week, we'll have a look at these different philosophies, the different methodologies, the different methods and recipes, the different systems. And my advice then is just browse through these systems and ask yourself, am I comfortable with any of these, and what will work best for me? So that's our next video and our next session in a week's time. With that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to hand back to Lizette, and we will stop the video, and we will also then take questions that will not be part of the video. Thank you, Lizette.